Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because in today's video I'm going to start a brand new series on how to create beautiful floral arrangements for beginners. Yes, you guys, this is going to be a floral design for beginners class and it's going to last a few episodes, but in those episodes I'm going to share with you everything you need to know if you want to become a florist or if you just want to create floral arrangements for your home. There is so much to know and I'm super excited. But before we do that, I want to take a second, you guys, to honor this month's members who are Kathy Broom, Margot Hall, Julie Roberts, Deborah Hardy, and Irma Tai. Yay! Give them a round of applause. And thank you, ladies, so much for becoming members to this channel. Your contribution really helps me out to continue to create beautiful videos for you to be inspired. And if you want to become a member, there's going to be a link in the description box below. And there's also a join button on the main page so you too can support me and support this channel. I really do appreciate it. All right, you guys, well, I'm going to take you into the studio, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you already subscribed, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss everything coming out for the next season here at Ramon at Home, especially the Christmas season. All right, if you are ready, we're going to go into the studio and I'm going to share with you how you can create a gorgeous floral arrangement for spring that is super easy, monochromatic, and is going to be the first one in the Floral Design for Beginners series. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so let's get started with our very first floral design for our Floral Design for Beginners series. I really want you to learn everything that I know and that I've learned in the past 15 years in the floral industry. We're going to be doing silks and fresh, and I cannot wait for you to learn everything that I know. So first of all, I want to talk about this beautiful container. I'm going to make a video about selecting your containers, where you can find beautiful containers like this one and how to prep them. But for this particular one, I inserted a piece of florist foam and then I just cover the container with some of this green moss because I don't want to see the stems. When it is a fresh floral arrangement that we do want to see the stems. Right now I'm not. So that's the beginning. You put your foam and then you cover it with some sort of moss. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my greeneries, and if you've been following this channel, you know that what happens on the right happens on the left, and that's why I always like to spin my arrangement on this Lazy Susan, which is another moss that you have to have if you are doing florals. Now the benefits of doing florals, you guys, is because it really adds a touch of kind of elegance to your home. I love having floral arrangements all throughout the house. It comes from my mother and my grandmother, who since I was a kid just love flowers, and I just grew up loving them. And then I became a florist. I really wanted to be a florist at a flower shop, and I had that opportunity many years ago, and so I just continued to learn, and now I get to teach you. All right, so now I have my greenery right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some hydrangea to be like the support of the longer forms. This is a round form, this is a long form. So what I'm going to do is, I always like to tell you to create a triangle, and to do that I'm gonna do one on my right, one on my left, and then I'm going to spin, and you need to make sure that it goes on the foam so that way it is supported. And I'm going to flip it upside down so you guys can see what the triangle that I'm talking about. Do you see how that forms a triangle right on the bottom of my arrangement? And the greenery is just the support for all of your flowers, so you want to make sure that you always have some sort of greenery. So now what I'm going to is I'm going to bring all of this beautiful silk delphinium, and what I like to do is I like to start right on the top. And I pre-cut them just to save us some time because there's going to be so many arrangements. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here on the top, and that's going to give us the height of the arrangement. And from there on, that's going to be like, this is what we call the crown. So the very first one you insert on the crown, making sure that goes in the foam. And then the rest of them, when you insert, you're going to go ahead and insert at an angle. As you guys can see, this one kind of separates itself from it. You don't want to put it like this again because that's not how flowers grow. When flowers grow in your garden, they usually tend to grow like this. And in order to radiate your bouquet, you have to spin it around and continue to go around, just creating that angle to your left or to your right, depends on what angle you chose. But in my case, I chose my angle to my right. And as you can see, I'm going to insert all of these flowers. This is what I call a monochromatic arrangement. And you guys, this year, I'm so into the monochromatic look. Since I went to market, I just fell in love with all of the ideas that they showed. And I have done a few wreaths. They are now available on my Etsy shop, where they were all monochromatic with the cute little bunnies and those, you know, those viral bunnies are going viral right now. So what you do is you continue to add some of this delphinium, all of it in an angle until you get all the way to the rim of the container, always spinning to the same side. Also, that kind of helps when you're spinning to the same side. And like I said, having this lacy Susan really will help to just continue to spin around. As you can see, the motion is super easy. You just insert one at a time. Now here's the trick. When we start seeing the gaps right here, just go ahead and insert one. That's what's gonna give us that full look. But always, always, always spinning your arrangement. Now I'm getting closer to the rim of the mouth, or the container, which is this right here. And the closer you get to the rim of the mouth, the lower the flower needs to go. So I'm gonna add that one right there. See, this one is a short one, so I'm gonna put it right here closer to the rim of the mouth. You want to save all of your shorty ones so that way they can go. You might want to also skip the hydrangea so that way they don't get buried in the floral arrangement. And I'm going to add these taller ones up on the top so they continue to give us that linear aesthetic that we're going for. What do you guys think? Are you having fun this spring season, you guys? Can you believe it's almost spring? Actually, as a matter of fact, you guys, today, when this video comes out, is when we spring forward. I know spring is not till the 21st or 22nd, but today we get to spring forward. So if you haven't changed your clock, be sure to spring forward on your clock. So that way, you know that my videos come out every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the channel. Look how easy this arrangement is, you guys. All you have to do is make sure that you go down on the container, and this could also be done with fresh delphinium. It will be really expensive because the delphinium is really not affordable, but it's such a beautiful flower and it can last a long time, so it would be. But a beautiful alternative is this beautiful silk one, and this silk delphinium came from Walmart, believe it or not. They come on a bundle. I did separate them, and look how pretty it looks. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And as you can see, I continue to spin. I'm going to add these last few ones, and I'm gonna put it in my living room so you guys can see what a touch of elegance. Keep watching. And here it is, our cute little floral arrangement, all looking beautiful here in the living room. I just absolutely love the combination of the blue and white in the sofa, and then also right here on the floral arrangement. I love creating monochromatic looks like this, you guys. It's so easy. Trust me when I tell you, if I can do it, so can you. All you have to do is give it a try, give it a go, give it a swirl, and be creative if you just follow these simple steps. Well, as you guys can see, creating this beautiful floral arrangement was so easy, and I really love it. I was taught by a floral designer everything that I know, and now it's time for you to pass it on this floral design for beginners series. So now we're gonna go back into the studio, and I'm going to share how you can create a floral design for your front door. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for this particular home decoration idea, I wanted to do something dramatic and out of this world gorgeous, and I'm going to do that with this basket. Now, I had this basket for a few years now, and I think I've used it twice in the 5 years that I've been on YouTube, so I figured it would be time to bring it out and to do something fantastic this year for spring, summer, and to give you some ideas for home decorations that you can put on your door that are super fabulous. So what I did is I went ahead and added foam up to here, and then I added some greeneries to cover all of this foam. And remember, what goes to the left goes to the right, what goes up must come down. So I went ahead and saved us some time with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these beautiful ferns, which is what's going to give us the height and all of the drama. You know that I love me some drama when it comes down to decorating, and also on the TV, so why not some drama on the TV. And so I love this fern. This is from Hobby Lobby, and the reason why I love it is because look how natural it looks. So what you can do is just play with it and see where it falls, and then let your art dictate whether you want it sideways or you want it forward. I want it forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this other one right here. And that's gonna give us not only width, but all of this height, and then we're gonna let all of this spill forward. And this could be it, just with a bow, but because this is Ramon at home, I wanna fill it in with beautiful flowers. So for that, actually no, I have some other greeneries that I have. These are from Walmart, and what I want is to trail it down, so I'm going to poke my foam right here. Once again, I just love that sound of the foam being used. Look at that, and then you go like this. Oh, I love it. Like that. And so we go down, and look at that. That spills forward, it looks so pretty. So I have some of the same greeneries, and I'm gonna intertwine those with my ferns. So one on the left, or my right in this case. Now look for my foam right here, and then one to my left. And I'm gonna insert this sideways, like this. Look at that, it is full and absolutely beautiful. A few hydrangeas on it would be perfect for this, but I have all of this dogwood that I've had collected. These you can also find at Walmart, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all white dogwood because it is very clean and summery. So I'm going to insert one to my right, then I'm gonna look for another one right here to my left, and I'm going to insert, keeping that balance of what happens on the left happens on the right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab yet another one, and I'm gonna put it on the back. Remember, what goes up must come down. So one in the very back, so you can see all those florals all the way to the back. And then I'm going to come forward, and I'm gonna kind of start spilling it forward like this. So that way you can start bending down your florals. Look how pretty that is. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fill in the side. So I'm gonna add one right here to my side, like that. And I want to grab another one that is about the same height, so it gives me the same width. Look at that. And so now what you do is you grab all these little clippings and you just start poking right here and filling in. Just remember to get as close as you can to the mouth of the basket, of the container. Once again, if you do not have this particular basket, don't worry. Hobby Lobby right now has some really beautiful door baskets. I think I even seen them at Walmart, you guys. Michael's. Everybody's carrying these baskets this time of the year, and they look so beautiful, just filled in with beautiful florals like this. Look at that. I'm going to add a few more, and always remember what happens on the left happens on the right. I'm gonna save a few for later because I would like to fluff when we are at the door. But what I want to do is I'm going to add a cute little burlap bow. And for that, I'm going to grab a skewer, and I have pre-made a bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swirl my wire to my skewer. These skewers are from Walmart. They're the ones I use for your kebabs. There's some florist skewers, but I just found this to be helpful. So, and I'm going to add it right here to this side, all the way down like this. And actually, I need to cut some of my skewer down because it won't go all the way down. See, what I did is I packed my basket with newspaper up to here, and then I put the foam on top of the newspaper. So when I put the skewer, it gets all the way to the newspaper and it cannot poke. So I'm gonna use that. Then what I have is some of these hanging amaranthus, and I absolutely love it. You can also find these at Hobby Lobby. You can find pretty much everything that I'm using at Hobby Lobby. Look at that, and it just gives you that trailing down effect, and it gives a movement when you open the door. I'm gonna grab another one and put on the other side of the bow. So I'm gonna open up right here, and see how fast this was. It literally just takes nothing but a few minutes. I'm gonna go all the way down, making sure that I can get past that paper right there. Like that. And then I want one to come from the top of my bow to kind of cover the bow a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go like this. Look at that. Oh, how pretty. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff my bow, make sure that it's visible, like that. And I'm going to put it on the door, put the rest of my dogwood while I'm at the door, and I'll show you what it looks like Let's go to the door. All right, everyone, so I thought I'd share with you how this beautiful basket looks like on the door. As you guys can see, it is a large piece, and I just love the way the air moves the foliages and the ribbon with a cute little bow right here. As you can see, it's just a touch of burlap because the flowers are what really makes a statement right here. I think it is super easy to make and anyone can give it a try. And like I said, if you don't have this particular basket, don't worry. Hobby Lobby has some baskets right now for under $15 that are very similar and long like this, and I really hope that this inspire you to create yourself a very dramatic and beautiful door piece for your front door. I cannot wait to read your comments. What do you guys think? Wasn't that absolutely gorgeous? I love the way this turned out. Before we move on to our last floral design for beginners, I want to tell you that if you do not follow me on Instagram or TikTok, there's going to be a QR code right here so you can come and follow me for everyday content. I really am having fun sharing with you guys over there. So now let's go back into the studio and I'm going to share with you a gorgeous floral design for outdoors. Let's take a look. Filling in all of my greenery right here, poking into our foam. I usually put some moss around it, but since this is not gonna be seen, it is not really needed to look foam. And so basically I'm just gonna go around, and that's why I always tell you a lazy Susan just comes in handy because it really allows you to balance this. Now remember, what happens on the left happens on the right, and what goes up must come down. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a greenery and then I'm going to make it spill forward like this, and I'm gonna do that all around the perimeter. You guys, I'm having so much fun sharing with you these home decorating ideas and DIYs for your home, and I hope that you are as well. Let me tell you, I just think it is so much fun to create beautiful things for the home, and I, more than anything, love teaching you all of these tips and tricks on how you too can create something beautiful for your home. So as you can see, this is super easy. I'm just going around, and I'm kind of waiting to get some of the longer ones so that I can continue to spill. I heard once somebody said that when you're making an arrangement, you have to have some thriller, which is what's going to give the height, a filler, which is what's going to fill in your perimeter, and then your spiller, which is what goes down, because remember, what goes up must come down. So keep that in mind. A thriller, a filler, and then a spiller. And so we're going to do that with every single item that you add. If you add greenery, you have to do that. If you add flowers, you have to do that. If you add, let's say, hanging amaranthus or any other floral, you have to do that. All right, so far, so good. Let me see if I have my spillers all throughout. Yes. So I'm gonna save all of this greenery. I don't wanna go ahead and fill it in too much because, well, we have so many other things to add. So let me clear this up real quick and I'll be right back with you to give you the next step. Keep watching. Okay, so I'm back, and so what I'm going to add now is gonna be a selection of ferns, and all of these ferns came from Hobby Lobby. You can find all of these ferns at Hobby Lobby. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add one right here like this, and just make sure that it really goes into my container. Then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a 180-degree turn, and I'm gonna select another fern that is fluffy, and let me grab my cutters, which they are over here. So I need a fluffy stem, and these ones you have to cut because they are super thick and I don't want it to be as thick. That's the importance of having a really good wire cutter, you guys. If you are a crafter or a DIYer, you have got to get yourself some really good tools in order to, well, just do a beautiful job. So I'm gonna add this one right here on the crown, and I'm gonna make sure that I push all the way down, and see how that's filling in. This is gonna look so beautiful outside. Now I have this little fern right here, and I'm also going to add it. And remember to keep rotating, and then when you insert, be sure to insert on the diagonal. That way it makes your fern be a filler, a spiller, and a thriller all with one. You see how it's gonna give it that height? Look at this, like that. Let me see, I have one more. Let me see if I want to add it. You know what, yes, I'm gonna add it right about here. You kind of have to let your eye determine. And the beauty of these ones is, you guys, is that we can cut them. So I'm gonna cut them into bunches like this. Don't be afraid to cut your florals and then also your greeneries, because that's what they're for. You already paid the money for them, and see what this is going to do. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what this is going to allow me to do is to just fill in the spots that I was looking to fill in. Let me see, I'm gonna go around and just make sure that goes into the foam really good, like this. Now we can stop right here if we wanted to and just put this outside, but because this is Ramon at home, you know that what I'm going to do is make it look even fuller by adding some floral. So I'm gonna go get those real quick and I'll be right back to share with you the next step. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so I am back with my blue florals, and this is what our fern looks like. And as I told you before, you can just use this like this and put it outside and it's going to make an impact. The urn really does create that statement. But I bought some of these beautiful blue hydrangeas at Hobby Lobby, and I'm gonna cut them all at once. Every hydrangea bush has 5 flowers, I think. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they were, here, this one has a price tag. These were $20, but it has 40% off, which, by the way, do you notice that Hobby Lobby went more for the 40% off versus the 50 they used to do, which is all a gimmick anyways, because what they do is they buy the product already up rise, and I know the product is going up, so I understand what they did that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 hydrangea right here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a 180-degree turn. I'm gonna add a hydrangea right there, and then I'm gonna create that famous triangle that I'm always telling you. So I'm gonna add a hydrangea right here, and that's going to be our fillers, no, our thrillers. I'm gonna add one right here to this side right here. Look how pretty that's looking. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring out some of the shorter hydrangeas that I already have, and this is going to be my filler. And so I'm gonna start filling in right here in the middle. Remember, thriller, filler, spiller. So we're gonna turn around a little bit more, and I'm going to go ahead and add another one right here. I'm gonna turn, and I'm going to add this guy right here. Let's see. Yeah, right about here. Remember, let your eye dictate. And so what I do is, like, I go in between the taller ones. I put one right here in the middle. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut this one because I need a little one. So I'm gonna cut right about here. And this I'm going to insert right here. That's gonna give us a fuller bush. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do spillers, because I really do want them to spill. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm gonna give my hydrangea a curvature like this. And then I'm gonna go as close as I can to the rim of the container, so that way it can spill. See how we have, this is a perfect example. One on the top, one in the middle, and one that goes down. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna give my hydrangea a little bit of a curvature, and I'm going to look for a spot right here, and I'm gonna make sure that I go into the foam, and I'm just gonna let that hydrangea kind of spill forward. And I'm gonna do it one more time right here. I do kind of have to step away from it for a second, just to make sure that I'm inserting all of my hydrangeas in the right place. But remember, if you're doing a spiller, always give it a little bit of a curvature, and just, it will look more beautiful. These are super good quality, you guys, and for only about $11, look, you can create this beautiful bouquet for your outdoors. How pretty. Okay, so now I have this, I think I said they were jasmine from Walmart, which I love. And this one you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 flowers for $5, you guys. These were only $5, and I just absolutely love them. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do like a little bit of a flyaway. And if you've been following the channel, you know that that is like my favorite thing to do. At this point, we're just adding into the gaps of our arrangement. I want it to be very natural looking, so that's why I'm not overdoing it. I'm not adding too many of them, because hydrangeas, when they grow out in the wild or when you plant them, you know that the bushes are like really, really bushy, and then you have the heads of the flowers. So when you're trying to do floral arrangements, I always tell people to try and keep it as natural looking versus adding, if you do more of a lot of flowers clumped together, that would be more of an arrangement of flowers. But if you are doing a bush of flowers like this one right here, then you have got to keep them a little bit more airier like this. And what this lilac is doing is just giving us that little air that any floral or plant, potted plant needs, which is, I think, absolutely perfect for this right here. So I'm gonna cut all of these ones real quick again. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying these videos, and I cannot wait to come up with even more ideas in order to hopefully inspire you to have a beautiful summer this year, you guys. And then remember, right after this is the fall season, which is one of my favorite times of the year, and I cannot wait. I'm gonna use this too. What I like about this is because you can move the grass up and down. Look how pretty that is. So I'm gonna put those up here on the top. Look how fun is this. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. If you are putting this outside, what I recommend you do is that you grab a clear spray and then give them a coat of clear spray. You can use a Krylon clear spray. Of course, I'm not gonna do that because this is just for the demonstration purposes. But if you were to do this outside, wouldn't this be just absolutely gorgeous? 2 of them by your front door. That would be just so perfect. But I would recommend you grab some of that clear spray and then you give them a really good spray down, so that way they will not fade with the sun. So that's the purpose of it, so they will not fade. I'm gonna add this to right about here, making sure that goes into the foam. And I have a few more left, so giving it a little spin, we're going to add spots for them. This is so pretty. So what do you guys think? Wasn't that a lot of fun? But now I cannot wait to read your comments, so be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know which out of the 3 arrangements was your favorite. If you enjoyed this video, there's going to be one right here where you can watch how to do fresh florals. I really think that you're going to love it. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And as always, you can watch more videos right now. Until next time, bye.